news. And now for a review of what's making the headlines in the papers this morning, let's bring in Arise analyst Dr. Constance Ikoku. Good morning, Constance.
A wonderful morning to you, Charles. I hope you're good today.
So far, so good.
Excellent. And Tunkechi, who are twinning today.
We are. We got the memo.
Interesting.
Yes, we did. Sorry, Charles, you're out. Yeah. Okay, to look at the papers with us this morning, we have Iyo Akerela. He is a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. And hello there and welcome to the program. We'll begin with this day newspaper. We have two stories to see there. First, Godfather of banking Jim Ovia admitted to the freedom of the City of London. It's a recognition awarded to individuals of note who have lived or worked in the city or who have made outstanding contributions. It's also the highest honor the city can bestow on individuals. I mean, congratulations are in order to Mr. Jim Ovia, Iyo. Iyo?
Well, interesting development for the founder of Zenith Bank, Jim Ovia. Recall he founded Zenith Bank in 1990, just about 35 years ago. The bank was listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2004. So he's come a long way, and Jim, as he did, I agree, is the godfather of the banking sector. He has made significant impact not only in the Nigerian banking sector but also in the global financial ecosystem. So I agree it's a great honor for not only for him, as he rightly said while acknowledging the award, that it is a recognition of his effort not only as an individual but for Nigeria and Africa, and I think I agree with him. He's doing the right things and it is something good for the country.
I mean, Zenith Bank is all over the world, so they have done quite well. Let's see the second story. It's an inside page. FG partners BOI, that's Bank of Industry, to earn $4 billion annual garment import to revive CTG sector. The CTG refers to cotton, textile, and garment. Nigeria's domestic garment market is valued at over $6.8 billion, but the ready-to-wear segment contributes only 2% to GDP. What are the issues? There's infrastructural and financial gaps. Also, more than 90% of the market is served by cheap imports. This report says that if we can capture only 10% of the Bangladesh export market, for instance, we would be able to generate $3.3 billion in exports and create over 1 million direct jobs in Nigeria's garment sector. I mean, Iyo, we have the figures, we have the numbers, we've done the research. Now we need to see where this goes.
Yes, I agree. That is huge funds, 4 billion. That is what Nigeria spends in importing garment. In fact, the children's sector of the garment industry is a big boom. If you look at the population of Nigeria and, of course, the children in Nigeria, the clothes they wear, they are mostly imported. You hardly find parents going to local tailors to make dresses for their kids. It is even the adults that wear, mostly wear the Nigerian garments, apart from the tradition, the suits that we wear. We wear the barbariga and all of that. But for children in Nigeria, which is almost about 38%, they wear foreign clothes, and that's a huge amount of money. So if we are able to capture that, as the government is saying, it is good. It's going to create jobs, massive jobs for Nigeria. That is what is driving the Bangladeshi economy, really. The garment industry is driving the Bangladeshi economy. Maybe on the flip side of it, the government should also be thinking about encouraging huge cotton farming, because if you recall, in the early 80s, Kano and Jigawa and that axis, you have a whole lot of garment industry with ancillary cotton production across the north also. I remember those days in Ikeja, this avenue very close to Awolowo Road or so, you have a lot of garment industry, including in Lukbeju, but all of that, fizzled out with time because of either mismanagement or we actually killed our garment industry. So it's a good thing if the government is able to see this through.
Well, some of the policies that have been suggested to help revive this sector is, for instance, a minimum 5-year tax holiday to those who are interested in setting up industries, and also a break from import duties on raw materials and inputs. I would even add on machines as well. So if you needed to import your machines to start businesses in this sector, they want some kind of tax holiday in order to support them and encourage people to get into the industry, apart from, of course, the infrastructural problems that we have, like electricity. Okay, let's see Vanguard newspaper. Court order, Pandef lawyer, CSOs, others kick as IBAS appoints LG administrators in Rivers. Rivers Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Abbas, retired, has appointed 23 local government administrators despite a court order not to do so. He also approved the constitution of some boards of agencies, commissions, and parastatals. Ibas is said to have ordered the removal of the photographs of the elected governor from all offices, even at the Port Harcourt International Airport. He has suspended the boards of existing statutory institutions, such as the State Independent Electoral Commission, governing councils of tertiary institutions, and even the Traditional Rulers Council. Charles, there's a lot. I mean, he's acting like someone who is not a placeholder for just 6 months, and could be charged for contempt of court as well.
It's the constitutional ambiguity of the role of a sole administrator appointed when there is a state of emergency declared in the state that needs to be properly addressed. Does he have such powers? What is his place in the Nigerian constitution? This has actually to be dealt with. And then the way he is going about it, tearing down the established institutions, and that's according to God knows Igali, a systematic tearing down of various structures which are important for the continued building and consolidation of democracy in Rivers State is taking place. And if after 6 months normalcy is restored, and then the governor also returns, then it means starting all over again. So what he is doing at this point is even creating more complications and problems for Rivers State. That's provided the state of emergency will be lasting for the 6 months, or maybe there is a plan in place to extend his administration in the state. That is also left to be seen.
I don't know. Daily Sun this morning, fuel hope rises for lower price as FG moves to renew Naira for crude policy. We also have that story in Blueprint, if you can pull that up. There we have relief as FEC orders full implementation of Naira for crude deal, says process will end Nigeria's dependence on forex for petroleum. The government wants this initiative to continue as long as it aligns with the public interest and supports national economic objectives. And Kechiwal, while the discussions lasted, petrol rose from 860 to 930 per litre. The public will be expecting a drop now that they've closed this deal.
I mean, everyone is expecting a drop, and I don't blame Nigerians. We've gone through a lot. And I don't know if you agree with me. I think this might be a calculated retreat, driven maybe by the crash in oil prices and Naira vis-a-vis the forex market. I'm not sure. But obviously, people are excited. People are cheering. Ipman is cheering this. Selling crude in Naira is going to potentially slash fuel prices, keep jobs at home. But on the other hand, you have major marketers saying, this is going to scare foreign investors off. So I don't even understand where they are coming from. But I think this is a step in the right direction. Like you said, we spoke about this a couple weeks ago, I think, when Dangote came out and said, look, I'm going to pause when he was playing hardball, saying if they don't do this sell for crude in Naira, he's going to pause. So we'll see how this goes. I think it's a good, right step in direction, and it's good that they've clarified that this is not temporary. We intend to make this permanent. Yeah,
well, I think one of the issues also is the dependence on forex for petroleum. They want to slash it as much as possible so there isn't too much pressure on forex, and we know how that affects the economy in general. Okay, Daily Trust. Traffickers using digital platforms to lure Nigerians, according to FG. Over 7,000 victims rescued in 2 years, NAPTIP says. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi says trafficking is the third most profitable criminal enterprise globally. And apart from the rescue of 7,000 victims so far, that's between 2022 and 2024, 205 convictions were secured within this period. And then in Africa, 1 in every 4 trafficked person is a Nigerian. A Nigerian. Eagle, come in here. I don't know if anyone has seen some of those videos of Nigerian girls trafficked in neighboring Ghana. It's so harrowing that some of them disappeared from school without their parents even knowing.
Well, this is not sharing news at all. There's nothing to be excited about here. Indeed, Nigeria is the most populous black nation on earth, so you will expect that when black people are involved in any form of, whether it is crime, in this case human trafficking, you would expect that the commanding numbers will be Nigerians. But what is really happening back home? It has to do with the lack of opportunities. The opportunities are shrinking every day, and so young people can't find jobs to do. Even when you leave the universities as a graduate, there's really nothing for you to do. So the allure is for you to possibly travel anywhere outside of Nigeria. Ghana is an immediate destination for many. I read a report where one Ghanaian journalist was actually saying that what is attracting Nigerians to their country is electricity, security that is quite stable, and of course jobs, and that there are better opportunities in Ghana than Nigeria. So that is of course attracting Nigerians to that place. I know young people, they are glued to their phones, to digital platforms, either laptop or phone. So they see these things every time, and most of these promises they see, they are just highfalutin. There's nothing in it, and they lash onto it and just find that they are in some kind of trouble. Libya, for example, there are so many Nigerians languishing in jail in Libya. If you go to Indonesia, go to some of these countries, they also use these people, some of these young people, to traffic drugs. Maybe even not to their knowledge. Put these things in their luggages and just move this. Somebody will receive it from you in another country, and you get in there and you find yourself in some trouble. So that's a wake-up call for the government to, of course, sit back, develop strategies that can keep most Nigerians back home.
Well, I think parents also have a responsibility. I think most of these young people, or some of them, are uninformed. Yes. They truly become victims, because they're not aware of what happens out there. So if parents and families can also, understand this and help their young ones to know that, it's not all that is cracked up to be out there. New Telegraph this morning, Abure's sacking, and NLC moves to seize control of LP offices nationwide. Let's also see Daily Independent. It has that story too. LP crisis, NLC asks INEC to remove insignia of Abure and WC from portal. Abure-led faction vows to mobilize against the union. NLC says it has put all security agencies on notice that they have a constitutional duty to enforce the judgment of the Supreme Court. Kechi, if you want to come in here, Julius Abure was previously being battled by Mr. Peter Obi and the Obedience. Now, the NLC itself has moved against him. So
it's like the Labour Party cannot have a break. Or I think the opposition parties in Nigeria cannot get a break. And I think the court was quite clear. I think the court was even tired and maybe a little bit irritated, because it was just saying, look, you need to follow your own party's constitution. You need to sort out your internal differences and don't bring it to us to burden us. And not only are they fighting that, the NLC decides we're not going to be left behind. So let's now go and take over the Labour Party offices. So I think these people just need to come together and have a vision. When you're in a party, and I think Labour Party is even one of the parties in Nigeria that actually has ideology behind it, has vision. We understand why it's the Labour Party. And so for them to be having this sort of distractions, it's just disappointing, to say the least.
It is disappointing.
Maybe I should just quickly add that if you also look, if it's becoming multidimensional. Lamidi Papa has also declared himself as the chairman of the Labour Party, and so that complicates.
And said he would tell us about his leadership plans.
As Nkechi said, the Labour Party is very promising actually, because it sprang a surprise in the 2023 general elections, and so I mean, if you look at the party in power now, the APC, I'm sure that they are going to be looking at the direction of the Labour Party to also see what is going on there. They can throw spanners in the work, all good for them, but it is time. Maybe workers should go in there. Workers are in numbers. If they can go in there and stabilize the party, maybe that would be helpful. Nigerians, as we speak, actually need a very strong opposition. Things are not going very well and are looking nicely for the country. So we need an opposition that can checkmate the ruling party.
You know, Nkechi and I were talking about the Apapa factor in the Labour Party, and having declared himself the most senior member of the National Executive, whose ouster was actually confirmed by the Supreme Court, so to say. So where does that position he is claiming exist again? So, I mean, it just adds to the complication that the Labour Party seems to have found itself in at the moment, and I wonder how the party is going to bounce back from that. In any case, the Labour Union itself is weighing in, so we'll see how that pans out. Definitely.
To the international headlines, Daily Graphic, Ghana, Czech take leap forward, pledge stronger ties. There's a photo of Ghanaian president there, John Dramani Mahama, with the Czech president, Petro Pavel. On to Citizen newspaper, suicide, SA's hidden killer. We're seeing a bleak picture of mental health situations in South Africa. Suicide, this report says older people suffer most, and the main reason is money problems. 45% of people prone to suicide are between 41 and 60. It increased by 62% in people older than 50. I mean, poverty and inability to have a decent life is really shaking people over there. The Guardian this morning, phones banned in nearly every school in England. Teachers say phones have a damaging effect, and the average 12-year-old has access to hardcore pornography on their mobile phones. This is incredibly damaging to the well-being of young boys and their perception of women, girls, sex, and relationships. Anyone can jump in here. It's a huge problem for everybody, not only England. Well, phones in the hands of kids.
Well, I agree. It's a big problem. Rachel D'Souza, the Commissioner for Children in England, expressed so much worry. At primary school level, the percentage of that is over 98%, and for secondary school is about 90%. So that is indeed very worrisome for head teachers who are clamping down on the use of phones. Perhaps that can be a solution to the problem. And when the children leave schools and get home, they are going to have access to their phones and the gadgets, except parents then also clamp down on them. Maybe that is just a half measure. But on the suicide issue in South Africa, you know, every 100,000 South Africans, you have 23.8% of them. That's about 23,000 actually opting for suicide. So it's Nigerians, they say love their lives. Not many Nigerians will want to really die, whether you have money or not. People say that Nigerians prefer to break the war to survive. But in South Africa, there are not too many countries that can bear the hardship. You also have Lesotho and Eswatini, you know, two other countries that are following up closely with South Africa in terms of suicide rate. Well, it's something that is worrisome indeed.
But I think quickly, when you look at the demographic, the age of the people committing suicide, I think it shows us that the world obsesses over youths or Gen Z mental health, and rightly so. But we're forgetting this demographic of people, parents, professionals, middle-aged people, and who mostly go through these things behind closed doors. They don't talk about it, or they're not vocal enough about it the way the youth or younger people are. So I think that's one of the main things I got from the story.
And that's also a demographic in South Africa that suffer with lack of employment, and especially for men. It's really terrible for them. Finally, Daily Mirror, Trump and China at each other's throats again. Here it says, erratic Trump's new gamble, a great war of China. He hits Beijing with 125% tariff, but 90-day pause for other countries is a big climb down. I mean, you would think that China will seek to negotiate as the U.S. wishes, but no, they are fighting back. That's all we have for the paper review this morning. Iyo Akereha, a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, thank you for coming today.
And thank you so much, Dr. Constance Ikoku, for helping us and leading us through the newspaper review this morning. That's all we have for you here on Daybreak. It's goodbye from me. I'm Kichi Nana.
And I'm Charles Eruka. Please do keep it up here on Arise News. The morning show is up next. Goodbye.